Oh yeah, let's do this. 158. Yikes. Grab a drink. Let's have some fun. What's up? Happy Monday. Love it. Little Mozart action. What's up, Monday, folks? Come on in. We have an awesome show tonight. I'm quite excited about tonight's subject. I thought last week was a blast. It was one of my favorite ones. Yeah, welcome. Evening Hour Live. I'm Cardone. Nice to meet you. Alright, we got bam, bam, bam. People are starting to come in now. We've been hitting some good numbers with the live show, thanks to all of you spreading the news. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the whole notify thing. Tell your friends. The best thing you can do if you're having fun with these is pass it around. If you're the donating type, sure, go ahead. I take tips, big ones and little ones. I do this full time, so anything that you donate goes to the cause. Number two, oh, Rambones, what's up? We have a great group. Let me go in here. We got Angela, Ashworth, Jason, Camillo. Who else is in here? Mama's in the house. What's up, Mama? My sis is in the house. Serena, what's up? How are you? Wolfenstein, my producer guy. My sister, Mark the Barbarian. Jason. Camillo. Who else? Yeah, we got a good one. Come on in. I have a million little things today. I have a toy review. I'm going to talk about a movie. Oh, very important. My Wacky Mart. First of all, I need to turn this down. Oh, let me turn this down a bit. It's a live show with chatting. So please introduce yourself. Say hello. If I know you, say, hey, I know you. I know you from blah, blah, blah. It's just easier for me. And if I don't know you, introduce yourself. We have a great group here. I'm going to be looking for questions tonight and a discussion. Tonight's a chat, a serious, let's get down and dirty. The subject's going to be really neat. So tonight I'm on Coca-Cola. And I did roll one of my Beat on the Brat baseball bats. For at some point, I might fire it up if I am compelled. So, my Wacky Mart, which is online right now, live, there is a link in the description, has a new product, and there's only, I think, 6 of them, and I'll put it on the, so, folks, because of your donations, I got a new camera. I'll show it to you in a second. It's actually hooked up. But I do want to put on my hand cam. So, here's what you get in the package that I'm offering. You get an opulence sticker. You get an opulence button, you get another sticker, and I only have, I think, 6 of these left. Opulence t-shirt. So, I think I have 6 left. I have like 5 medium and 1 small. That's it. When they're gone, they are gone. If anybody likes my band Opulence, it's free online. You can listen to the record. It's on every medium. Blacklight Media put it out. So it's out. It's on YouTube and Spotify and all the mediums. Opulence Black Magic. I think it came out 5 years ago. And I only have a couple shirts and I'm just trying to clear inventory. You can support the cause. It's $30 on the Wacky Mart, and you get 2 stickers and a button and whatnot. So, thank you. Check it out. That's one thing. Second, David MG died. Dawn of the Dead. Flyboy. The guy in the bed. The guy in the elevator. One of the most amazing zombie portrayals I've ever seen. Heartbreaking. Touching. Great actor. Dawn of the Dead. Check it out. David MG plays Flyboy. Highly recommend the movie if you've never seen it. I would put it in my top 5 greatest horror films ever made list. Top 5. Hands down. It's one of the greatest films ever made. It's also a masterpiece of low-budget filmmaking. So, cheers to David. You will never be forgotten. You are going to go down in history as being in one of the coolest horror films ever. And the remake is garbage compared to the original. It misses the entire point to the original. It's literally flipping the entire message on its head. There's a new Coffin Joe box set coming out that I'm trying not to spend money right now. I'm in my winter mode. I kind of go into a hole and focus on just inner workings of this. But I had to get the Coffin Joe box set. It has not arrived yet. It's big and has everything he's ever done. And it looks well made. For those of you that don't know anything about Coffin Joe, I will be doing an entire episode on him. That's in the works. Fascinating. He made the first horror film in Brazil. I'll start with that. So I need one more I have this camera here, which is a very fancy camera. Fancy, very expensive. Then I have my lower hand camera, which I use for teaching magic, right? And now I have a new one. Look at this. Okay, so this camera, which I'll go back to here, is right there. Like what you're seeing when I click camera 3 on is there. So I can have a studio audience now and go, hi. Not only that, the reason I needed the extra camera is because when I start doing live board gaming, which is definitely happening, Dungeon Degenerates, by the way, link in the description for the game. That game, I need lots of cameras. I need one for me, one for the board, one for the characters, and one for the monsters and the dice. So I'm going to have to be multitasking cameras. So, yeah, it's cool, right? So here, look, I'll give you a little, wait, hold on, oh, before we get to that, I do have something I want to show you that, hold on, it's not prepared yet. So, there's a brand new Godzilla toy that just came out. It's from the new movie, not the Japanese movie. I love the new cam. I'll explain about it in a second. It is good. The new Godzilla movie that just came out is a masterpiece. There's an American one coming out very soon, in a month or so, that is King Kong Godzilla. It's part of the new Legendary Pictures, what do you call it? Universe. The Monsterverse, or whatever they're calling it. And I liked the last few. I thought they were good. The new one looks like it's definitely aimed at kids, so they're jacking up the toy line. But look at this. Every child's fantasy came true. Folks, why is this not working? Hold on. I did such a build-up, and now it's not working. Hold on. Maybe the battery died. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? I actually think the battery just died. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. Check this out. I wanted to give this a good review. Look. So watch this. Okay, I'm not doing it justice. This is every child's dream. My God. Watch this. Hold on, I'm gonna put it under the other camera. this. Okay, so I mean, really, like, I can't get enough of this. I'm gonna put it up here. I want you to see it up close because it is actually really well made. Hold on. It moves forward. The turn is not so good. It's kind of a lumbering turn. Let's turn this way. Let me back him up a bit. Here, watch this. You won't see the lights. I mean, it really is quite extraordinary with that breath. I mean, if you told me they were going to have a Godzilla toy that had a nuclear breath with a light system, bravo. $60? If you have a little kid, please get them this. Please buy it for them. If you have a little kid, this is one of the coolest toys ever. You can build a castle and then have him knock it down. It's wonderful. So I hope they make a remote control King Kong that does something, because that would be fantastic. They did make in Japan, and it's on my holy grail. They made a Mothra that squirts silly string. Go figure. Yeah, so that's cool. Bravo. You can get it on. If you look up remote. Oh, here, where's the remote? Look what the remote looks like. I have some complaints. This feels too light. It doesn't feel good in the hand. What's my other complaint? There's no on-off button for this. No. The Godzilla toy in the 80s that got recalled. Which one? I'm curious of which one, because I might own it. Here, let me see if we can get the scream on camera here. Listen, the scream is loud and good. Yeah, it's quite good. Anywho, that was that. Right now, Sundance Film Fest. There's a film that I think I have an appearance in. It's called Realm of Satan by Scott Cummings. It's in the documentary category, and it's getting a buzz. It opened this week. You can watch it. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what my part looks like. It's a movie about Satanists of sorts, and it kind of goes through their lives. At any rate, I'm doing magic in the movie. You actually get to see me do one act at Slipper Room, and another. I'm very curious of what it looks like. I'm doing magic. It's quite glorious, and I know a lot of people in this film, and I'm very proud that they're in it and it's doing well, and it got distribution already, so you will be able to watch it. It's called Realm of Satan, and it's not really a documentary per se. It's more of an art installation, I would say. That's what it seems like. I haven't seen it yet, but that's what it looks like. So, cheers! I can't wait to see my magic on a big screen. It's going to be kind of cool. You can watch it online this weekend. You got to look it up, though. You have to buy a ticket, and you kind of have to watch it during a certain... Like, when they screen it, you actually have to watch it on your TV at that time, I believe. Which is kind of cool, actually. It means while you're watching it, other people are actually doing the same. I like it. Shark darts out of the mouth. Yes! Well, I have the one that shoots the darts out of the hand. You know, it shoots the hand, but yeah. COS focused. Yes, it is definitely COS focused, the movie. I can't wait to see it. So cheers to them. They're over there right now in Sundance. What else before we get into the wackiness of this show? I'm going to need people to ask questions today. Please ask questions. I need devil's advocates. I want people to push back. Oh, it's alive. Yes, it is. Oh, my new camera. My new camera is so good that this is actually my new camera. It's so much better than this. This is the other camera, And, oh God, Godzilla's going at it again. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. Godzilla, if you're wondering how the smoke effect is created, there's a little hole in the top of his head with a cork. And you put a couple drops of water. And there's an atomizer. So it's water vapor, ultimately. It's pretty cool. Great idea. Using water vapor and a light. Simple genius for a toy. Okay. I guess we'll get into the meaty of this all. A lava lamp. Yes, I am a lava lamp aficionado. If you go back to my old episodes, I did an entire episode on the history of lava lamps. I highly recommend it. It is quite fascinating and fun. Yeah. I've had this one now for 4 years. I've changed the light bulb twice. Pretty good. I use it every day. I turn it off at night, and I turn it on in the morning. Now, I've always wanted one of the jumbo ones. But what it seems like is if you buy a jumbo lava lamp, you have to leave it on all the time. You do. Because it takes 10 hours to heat up for it to work. 10 hours. These take a few hours. So if you have an object that needs 10 hours to heat up, I mean, that's half the day. So if I bought a giant one, it would go like in one of my corners, and I would just leave it on and change the light bulb. Joe Netherworld, may his soul never rest, because he's restless. He passed away, 4 years ago now? Magister Joe Netherworld. He had a lot of lava lamps that he just left on. I remember his house was filled with them. He's also in the movie. There's a section in the movie about Joe. Yeah, I've seen the glitter ones. They make new styles. I guess we'll get into the episode. Let's do it. If you're new to the show, please hit like and subscribe and all that fanciness. And if you are the donating type, by God, donate. I mean, I'll take it. I live off of performing, so anything you throw at me gets put into the machine of sorts to create content. And I mean, even small amounts add up. Seriously, so if you want to throw $1 or $2, please do. If not, spread the word. Anywho, let's get to the meat. Tonight, I entitled it, The Value of Mis- and Malinformation. And I was originally going to title it, The Value of Mis-, Dis-, and Malinformation. But it didn't look good. So, all right. Where are we here? Come back. So let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Why am I doing this episode? Well, it's because, for a few reasons. One is I am involved in the free speech business. Not only have I been involved in the free speech business, I'm a fan of things that exist because of the free speech business. I'm talking about art, heavy metal, punk rock, books, every subject. I like a lot of subjects that might go against the grain. And so, because of free speech, I'm able to access them and read them and learn about them. Even counterpoints that might be deemed bad, rotten. I enjoy learning about them. It doesn't mean that I enjoy them. I enjoy learning about them. I have books on the actual Nazi parties in Germany. It doesn't mean I'm a Nazi. I read about them. I want to learn. I want to see what it is and what it looks like and learn everything about it. So that's one reason. The other reason is I hear it talked a lot about in public, on TV, in the medias. I hear a lot of powerful people talking about it. I've heard many younger people say that they think speech should be regulated. I've heard many people saying this. Older and younger, but a lot of younger people that think speech needs to go through a filter before it reaches our ears, and that there needs to be a code enforced on the morals of certain speeches. and the morals of what we like and what we don't like and how we say it. Because to me, hate means extreme dislike. Love means extreme like. And so if you're forbidding someone to like or extremely dislike something, you're asking them not to think it in a sense. You're telling them, well, you're not allowed to say it out loud, which ultimately is like if you need to express something, it's telling you you're not allowed to express it. So, those are the reasons why I've decided to do this episode. If you watch all of my episodes, you will see me mentioning these subjects all the time. I just wanted to focus with a microscope now on a few things. And that is the words misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And they're all different. They all have a definition. They also, I think, are going to get legal definitions soon, such as, like, terrorism. Terrorism now, if you say what's a terrorist, it's like, well, you know, a first thing that comes to mind is a Muslim guy on an airplane, right? If you think of some people will think a white guy with a head shaved and an American flag, right? Right, terrorism is terrorism. It's like somebody of an ideology scaring somebody to get change, using terror as a tactic for change, right? That's terrorism. That's how I would define it on just the top of my head. But there's a legal definition. And if you get deemed a terrorist legally, do you know that our government got rid of a law for that situation? For an emergency, because of a dire situation, they got rid of habeas corpus as part of the Patriot Act. And so George Bush started it, and Obama kept it rolling, and every single one of our leaders has added to it to some degree. That law is your right to a lawyer, which is why there are people under lock and key in Guantanamo Bay that'll never see a lawyer of the light of day. Legally, because they're terrorists. So, eliminate ignorance, not free speech. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. What are the solutions, right? What do you do? Because we're not getting rid of ignorance. I mean, right now we're not. In the future we might, but it's tricky, right? We'll get to that. That's true, Jason. You're right. I agree with that. But there's lots of buts involved. Here we go. I need questions and stuff in this one. Here we go. So, the value, why I think we need. Yeah. So, definitions. Misinformation means it's under error. If someone's misinformed, it means they're spouting information that's wrong. Well, they didn't know any better, or they were lied to, or whatnot. So it's misinformation. Disinformation means you're releasing false info to cause harm. You're lying to cause harm. So-and-so did this. Oh, now they're in trouble, and that triggers that. Right? That's disinformation. And then malinformation, mal meaning the root, a malicious, mal meaning bad, negative, is something that's true that causes harm or distrust or something bad. And it's being released to cause a ripple. It's information that's bad that's being used to cause trouble. It's true. And the funny thing about that is that falls under the category that I always say to people, are you okay with your government lying to you for your safety? Just curious. I love asking people that to see how they answer. Most people say no, even though I think in their hearts they really want yes. Just my opinion. But, so those are the three categories: mis, dis, and mal. And here's something I want you to think about. They do. Okay, so Jason, what I'm fascinated by is when I ask questions to people about their thoughts on this subject. It fascinates the hell out of me, and I could literally spend 10 hours talking about it. It's something I'm extremely passionate about because I think there's no such thing as truth or facts anymore. I'm starting to lose my mind over this because everything is bias. Everything. Even facts are biased. Even science is biased. Everything has a bias to it. It really does, and I can't not see it anymore. I can't. So when someone says, was that true? I'm like, well, what is true? What is... It's getting to be very mushy and gray on some of these subjects. So for instance, here's where I step in and notice a problem. And I'm going to say that the problem here is coming from, let's say, government agencies or World Health type organizations or whatnots. And here's what it is. And we're only discussing this now because of the pandemic. You know that. Because they locked down everybody and forced people to take medicine and did the whole thing, some people, in the act of going, hey, I have a question about something, they were attacked for asking the question. And they weren't attacked because of a cognitive understanding. Like for instance, if you're like, wait, you're locking us down, the thing, and that's gonna stop the thing, right? Just at Matthew the Metalhead, what's up? Just asking the question, they weren't like, oh no, you're cognitively misunderstanding this. Let me help you. That's not what it was. If you asked a question and you had a little bit of a hesitancy about something that you were told you had to do, it was deemed immoral. It was taken as you're rotten and selfish. That's how it was spun on TV over and over again by all the, quote, not only smart people, but the Stephen Colbert and all those dum-dums running around. They were the ones going, you're immoral. And so, as you know, I don't believe in morals. Okay, let's get that straight. That's where I started feeling uneasy. That people were getting a finger pointed at them as you're immoral in your thinking for even suggesting that. How dare you go against our sheep? I mean, our friends. So when the lock and key started, the first thing I noticed that you weren't allowed to mention on the medias was that the sick came from a certain area of the world. And it looked pretty fishy. It didn't look like something that's normal. It looked man-made. And if you mentioned it, you got in trouble. Just mentioning it. And you even got called a racist. I mean, it was like, you're a racist for saying that. It's like, okay, but... all right, so now what? So when I noticed that people were getting in trouble for just mentioning that, not even the sick part, just the origin, something was wrong. And I've been like that my whole life. Ever since I was a tiny little boy, if someone told me you're not allowed to ask that question, that was the end of it. That's why I left the church at an early age. I was told not to think, told not to ask questions. I was told, whoa, you don't know what you're talking about. The priests know more about this than you. How dare you judge what they're telling us? They interpret the Bible better than you ever will. I remember hearing that from the science point of view. Like, oh, no, you got to trust the science. Well, I do trust science. I don't trust scientists. Back to my original statement of everybody's got a bias. It's just normal. If you didn't, I'd think you were something's crazy. How could you not? Now, add on top of that a will to power, and we have a whole other animal. When I say will to power, I mean to expand. Well, he did call it the Kung Flu, but I mean, he's a caricature of a TV game show host. Of course he's going to do that. That's like a stand-up comedian doing it. He is a game show host. You know, that's his job. If he was a magician, he would have done a magic trick to illustrate it. Yeah. I really... It's just... I can't My whole life has been, as soon as I ask a question, if someone's angered by the question, my red flag goes off. And if I'm told not to ask it, my red flag goes off. It means I think I hit some sort of nerve that is truthful. That's usually what it means. And when I say usually, I really mean usually. So back to misinformation. So during the pandemic, I noticed that the platforms were using fact-checking tools and all sorts of stuff. Did anybody fact-check the fact-checkers? I mean, they were using media networks like NBC to be the source of the fact-checking. What? These are clearly biased companies that have corporate interest. So I want to show you a video. I'm going to put this on. You have to see this because we're going to talk about it. Take notes while you're watching. I'm not kidding. Take a pencil, and when I play, it's like a 3-minute long video. Take a couple notes. I want you to notice the music, what's on the screen, the symbolism, and what they're saying. And lastly, listen to what they assume. Okay? What they're assuming is truth and fact and real. Oh, sorry. Okay? Because, you know, like right now, just for instance, when the thing came out, that it was the sick came from China, and then, you know, Fauci said no, and back and forth. Now it looks like it really did, and they didn't want anybody to know that because we invest in those companies, and it's a dirty, dirty business, and they are making profit, and so does the CDC makes profit. I don't know if anybody knows that. Fauci makes profit. They all get kickbacks. Everybody gets kickbacks. They wouldn't do it if they didn't. It turns out it looks like most of the doctors did think it came, and then like that, they decided it didn't. It's kind of fishy. But if you poll 99% of people, we all know what happened. No one's talking about it. It's very clear. Watch this video. Take some notes and tell me what you think. I think you're going to like this. Watch.
Every day, we receive information from a range of media sources. But how can we make sure that what we're consuming is reliable and accurate? With these steps, you will be better prepared to make sense of the different kinds of information you encounter. You will learn how to identify the 3 main types of unreliable and inaccurate news. And these can all cause harm and distress. We will start with identifying disinformation. This is information that is false and deliberately created to harm a person, a social group, an organisation, or a country. One example of disinformation is the false claim that the coronavirus was created in a lab in Wuhan, China. This is clear disinformation because suggesting COVID-19 was intentionally created in China to cause destruction is untrue. And the World Health Organization publicly verified this is not how the disease originated. The person who posted this originally knew this and deliberately shared this false information anyway. The second term is called misinformation. This is information that is false but not created with the intention of causing harm.
I'm answering big existential questions like why fire trucks are red.
Even celebrities can get it wrong. When COVID-19 spread to Europe, rumours emerged that 5G could cause harm. This was shared by prominent celebrities who didn't realise it was false. Reliable scientists have debunked this rumour, stating that there is no evidence 5G causes any damage to humans at all. The third term is called malinformation. Malinformation is when accurate information is shared to cause harm, often by moving private information into the public sphere, such as secrets or private images. Remember, Information can be videos and images, not just text. Now you know the key terms: misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. If you spot any online, make sure you report it. And most important,
Okay, before I foam at the mouth over that, notice Siri kicked on, and I left it to show you. I was screen recording. I didn't ask any questions. Dan P, what's up, brother? And that just, Siri just heard something and kicked on and mentioned something about asking existentialistic questions, which is kind of weird. I saved the video. The AI is listening to itself now and answering itself. Okay. So, that video is very real. It's filled with misinformation. And okay, so it also mentions that things are deliberate. How would it know? It mentions that the source of good knowledge, correct knowledge, is the World Health Organization. It says that, like, for instance, the whole concept of knowing if information is true or not. How would you know if someone believes it to be true or not? How? If you found that somebody wrote, like, I'm going to release this information to mess people up, okay, but let's say they didn't write that down and they just released it. How would you prove that they did it on purpose? You're really getting in someone's mind when you start getting into what things are true or not. And then, here's the big one, malinformation, meaning it's correct but damaging. Well, that means lying through omission is okay. That's what that video is saying. It's saying that if you don't tell people certain things because you're going to get in trouble and it's going to cause trouble, it's okay to do that. It's better to do that, is what I'm learning from that. That's what it sounds like. That's crazy. So that video is using a type of a song that I attribute to brainwashing, and the way it's using symbolism to accentuate things. And at the end, it tells you to report report it, turn them in, snitch. If you find it to be wrong, snitch. It doesn't say if you find it to be wrong, put correct info or clarify or ask a question. It doesn't say that. So, this is something. I wrote this down. Oh, it also says that when it says it's harmful or it's dangerous or when it's going into those things, so lazy thinking is a huge problem, but people were born to be lazy thinkers. It's normal. That's the problem. Yes, WikiLeaks is evil malinformation according to that. It means any whistleblowing is bad. I'm telling you, it's really bad. We have to go against this. If you're an artist of any type or a free thinker, you have to understand malinformation, misinformation, disinformation is where we're able to solve problems. It's why I put the title, The Value of It. Everything great in this world started off going against the grain. It was blasphemous to mention. Why? Because there was a system and a narrative in place. When a narrative is in place, a system is in place, our chemicals see it, learn it, and get used to it and create a chemical makeup of what is correct and good, and the dopamines and the good chemicals are flowing. Okay? Because you're used to it. Once you get used to something and you get a blast. As soon as somebody comes in with a new opinion, whether it's true or not, irrelevant, doesn't mean anything, it causes a wobble. Oh, that's new. Unless that opinion immediately causes dopamine, it's going to get rejected usually. So, the answer, well, okay, the problem is not laziness. It's not laziness's fault. It's stupid. Sheep will obey. No, it's beyond that. People, It's not a problem. It's supposed to be that. That's normal. They're normal, I'm saying. I'm arguing for their stupidity. I'm saying they were born like that. That's it. That's how most people are. They're wired for survival and to behave like sheep and to pick team A or B or to cheer on the guy in the wrestling team that's wearing white and red, not the guy with the black hat, because he's a bad guy. You see, it's very simple, but that's how the world is. You know, because you could say the answer to fight misinfo, then it's to add more info, right? That's the actual answer. How do you beat misinformation? Well, with information. Well, what if that information that's new causes cognitive dissonance and cortisol, which means bad? So now we have a thing called none of us is dumber than all of us. Yes, exactly. I like that, Bill. Excellent. So it means that if you have a new idea, you better be a good communicator and good at rhetoric, or no one's going to hear you, because you're going against the grain. So it doesn't matter if it's good or true. It's going to go against the grain. It's going to cause a riff and add will to power. What if this? What if the misinformation helps your own cause? What if there's an exaggeration that somebody does about something you do, something you created or invented, or somebody says you're worth more money than you are, or you did this or you did that? Most people's wiring let it slide. They don't go, well, actually, you're going over it now. You're making me bigger than I am. That doesn't happen. It's usually the other. People go, I didn't really do that, but I'll let it slide. That's human nature. If you didn't do that, I'd be suspect. I mean, it's better to do the one where you're honest, but, you know, it is what it is. It's human nature. It's expansiveness. It's not stupidity. It's survival. So I'm arguing for the dummies. Now, let's talk about this. Here, Camille, if AI feeds on data and data is wrong, well, that's it. I'm saying that. That's the problem. The data's wrong and never going to be right, and the AI is going to be morally deciding what's right and wrong. I made a suggestion last week. What if the Muslim religion, which is the fastest growing religion in the world, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think as a philosophy that's good. I will say it right now. I think it's actually not good for a lot of reasons. I mean, the word Islam means subservience. So any philosophy that starts with subservience as its main platform, I'm out. That doesn't groove with me. So imagine Islam is in charge of writing the moral code for the new AI that's going to run the world. Ding, ding, ding. Problem. Houston, we have a problem, at least in my world, because I know I'm the first one to get killed. It's dangerous. Robot Jesus. Oh, that's nothing. Jesus ain't nothing. It's robot Muhammad and robot, yeah. Well, Islam's a newer religion, much newer. It's also the easiest one to understand. It's the dumbed down version of the Abrahamic, whatever you want to call philosophy. For me, Abrahamic religion is blood magic. All of them. All three. Boop, boop, boop. Blood magic. It's magic based on the shedding of blood spilling. It says multiple times in the Old Testament that God likes that. And then, after killing his own son, he was okay. That did it for him. Okay. That's enough blood. So, I'm just saying, this idea of what's true or not. So why is nobody go after religion as part of misinformation, malinformation, or disinformation? Nobody does it with homeopathic medicine. Nobody does it with astrology. They don't even bring it up. So does that mean in the future, things will get a sticker if they're exempt from information policing, like religion? Like whenever you see a religion, if it has a special red mark, like the kosher mark, you go, oh, okay, it might be bullshit. You know, mythology, religion, things that are clearly kind of traditional, but not necessarily based in anything that is true or anything that we can talk about. You know, like when you're talking about demons and angels, there's nothing tangible. So, yeah, I mean, what do we do? What, I mean, am I crazy here? It seems like, yeah. It's all three religions are coming from an idea that nature ain't cool. Nature's bad. Life is bad. Death is good. That's what those philosophies teach. This world sucks. The next one will be better because you're a slave here, and in the afterlife you won't be. By the way, get to work, slave. That's kind of what it... Am I crazy in phrasing it like that? That's literally what it looks like to me as a philosophy. Spiritually, I could care less. Philosophy-wise, I'm talking life philosophy. What's the philosophy? I don't know. Here's something. I wrote down red sticker. They tell you that they convince you that some of your natural inclinations are wrong, and through that feeling of feeling wrong, and it's real, it's a real feeling. You're like, I'm horny all the time. All right, well, that means you're evil. Okay, I'm evil. Now what do I do? What do I do? I can go to church and pray. I can do this. I can volunteer. You're using our natural instincts against us in certain ways. It's a form of gaslighting. It's kind of an amazing technique, actually. Well, again, I don't call it dumb. I don't think it's dumb. I don't think it's stupidity. Somebody could have a very high IQ and 10 college degrees. I don't know if you watch the show, you'll see. I don't use the word dumb anymore. They're normal. They're the normal ones. That's the majority. They evolved to behave that way because it made their ancestors survive. Stupidity, or whatever we want to call it, is based on as a reaction. If you say something to somebody like, God, I don't like the shirt you're wearing, and then and they just punch you, well, we're like, all right, that guy's a dummy. But it's more of like an instinct to survive that I'm criticizing, which is fair. I can criticize that. So I don't call these people dumb anymore. I can't. I know very intelligent Christian people. Some of them are watching. They're incredibly smart. But I do believe there's a wiring of believing in... It's a form of a creative process where you trick yourself into believing this. I think there's a hard wiring to it. Clearly there is. Why does every culture believe in invisible deities? Why is that same function used to solve problems? It's a very specific thing. Yeah. Wow. Good Lord. So what does this all mean? Is it okay for the government to lie to you for your own safety? Is it okay to lie through omission? Here's the best one I like to ask people. When I'm being told to snap in line and follow the rules and stop being immoral and selfish for anything that I stand up for, I don't even know what to say. How can we... I know a lot of people that are able to sit around and talk about how terrible the U.S. government has been in the last 80 years in their imperial taking over planet Earth and putting army bases everywhere and buying this and that and causing a coup here and installing a president there and messing with the elections in the Ukraine stuff years ago, which no one talks about. All sorts of stuff. Libya, this, that, the other. Stirring the pot. We stir the pot. I'm not going to criticize it. I'd rather my country stirring the pot than the other ones. So it's going to happen. It's will to power. If you have the ability to spy on somebody that's also trying to spy on you, you will do that. If you have the ability through lying, cheating, and stealing to have an advantage on someone who's trying to kill you, you're going to lie, steal, and cheat. Here's something I thought about today as a thought experiment. Is someone bombing your children? Do you bomb their... Is it okay to bomb their children to stop the bombing of your children? It's a very big subject right now. Will it cause more bombing of more children if you keep doing that? But what if the only way to get him to stop bombing your children is to bomb his children? And now he's like, oh, you just I better stop. Right? I don't have answers to these. I'm just throwing them out as thought experiments. Cowboy bar in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. I said no, they need to... Wait, what? Right before Christmas to a cowboy bar in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming. And I think they wanted to hang me. My friends asked if I wanted to leave, and I said no, they need to... You're... I can't see your picture here, and I don't know who's typing, and I'm small. Jason, you're a brown guy or a black guy? Because I've been in those places, and they think, I mean, I don't identify as a brown guy, but when I have a suntan, I look like a Mexican guy or a Muslim guy. People really think like I'm an Arab guy sometimes, even though I have North African blood in me because I'm Italian. But seriously, like, that's funny. Well, an eye for an eye ends with a bunch of blind people, but I do believe that that concept of an eye for an eye is real and does work. It's when and how it works. That technique of eye for an eye is what I think is a caveman version of a justice system. So if you remove the justice system of any type, that system does have a function. It's someone bothering me, ow, and I go, yeah, and I knock his eyes out. He stops bothering my eyes, and he tells all of his friends, hey, if you bother that guy, he's going to do worse than you did to him. So don't bother him. To me, that's the concept. But what if literally the guy won't stop doing it until you do it back? I knew somebody that did mixed martial arts in a group. They did a fight club. And they were there to prove that their version of martial arts was superior. They thought you were a native. Oh, yeah, you had long hair. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you know, people think I'm Mexican because of how I dress. Because I wear big, bulky belt buckles and cowboy hats and cowboy shirts sometimes. And I have a mustache. So I think they think I'm a Mexican guy. When I was in Nicaragua, everybody was like, hey, Mexicano! And I'd be like, hey? Oh, hey, what's up? It's funny. Okay, hold on here. So all of this stuff, all of what we're talking about, the idea of creating a ministry. Do you know that our government actually tried to create a ministry of truth, and it got attacked quickly and pulled apart? I think they kept it a little bit of it open. Look into it. It's terrible. Your boyfriend is a caveman. Tell Jim I said hi. He's a good caveman. So all of these things I'm talking about, ministry of truth, robot AI, religious robot AI, add that all up and now lay over it the fabric of reality, will to power, meaning everything must expand for itself to survive. When I say everything, I don't mean just a human, I mean the idea. If I have an idea or a value or a concept, it has to expand somehow for it to exist. I have to tell somebody. If I don't tell somebody, it ain't going anywhere. It's in my mind. Maybe expanding isn't telling somebody, but making art. Whatever it is, it has to expand. Once it expands, that idea might go over somebody else's idea or them trying to expand. Or, hey, you're doing that, I'm doing that. What are you doing? Oh, that's more than me, or whatever it may be. Once that happens, a little dissonance is rung. Everything must expand. If it's not if you don't expand an idea, if you have an idea and you put it out there and you're sitting with it, eventually somebody else is going to expand over you with their idea. And so you can absorb it, you can go over it. It's the ebb and flow of the laws of the reality we're in. So every idea must expand. So whenever I hear, oh, they're going to start doing ministry of truth, expand it. Stop and think. This is where people are, I want to throttle them. You have to stop and think about it. You got to go, where would that expand? If I was a bad guy, what would I do? You have to do that. You have to imagine every law, every idea, every new drug that comes out, every new law, any new restriction. They don't take away restrictions, they add them. When's the last time they took away restrictions in this country? Like big ones. I mean, the civil rights was a big deal. Obviously, there's a big one. But I'm talking about real, like big restrictions for the whole group of everybody. I would say the Revolutionary War. There it was right there. We actually had to kill people to fix that. We had to be like, nope, you're not in charge. We're in charge. No, we're in charge. Nope, we're in charge. We're in charge. Nope, we're in charge. We're in charge. Well, when they do that, what do? You do it back, or you hide and then shoot them. I mean, there's, once they pull the gun out, that's it. The bureaucracy expanding to meet the needs of the expanding bureaucracy. Yes! And to hold there, if you're working in that as a business, you need to stay where you are too. You need to hold on to your power. So therefore, all of this truth and stuff gets tossed. This is why I don't like the idea of mis and mal and dis and all this information nonsense, because it is relative. Science is only a system that has, as the astrophysicist guy called it, Carl Sagan called it the built-in bullshit detector. Science has a built-in bullshit detector. So it's supposed to catch the bullshit. But what if the science guy is being paid by a corporation, and the more he finds about that supports the money-making end of what they're trying to do, he's going to focus on that. And through lying, through omission, he's going to funnel his thoughts and ideas to a certain way. When I saw the research study done on the measures for the lockdowns, they're not even really good studies. They're really weak studies that they used to base the fact that they closed down New York City. And 2,000 restaurants and bars closed. 2,000. Not 200, 2,000. If somebody made a decision that made 2,000 businesses close, just restaurants, and the suicide rate go out the roof, don't you think they should be subject to being put on a trial of sorts? Like, hey, your evidence that you used to do that wasn't even there. Why would you do that? Oh, because of safety. They use the word safety. So here's what I think is going to happen. When they want to get rid of one of our rights, such as free speech or the right to protect ourselves, or body autonomy, as I like to talk, I did a whole episode on it, they bring it into the health department. So right now, as a gun debate, I've seen it being debated that our health people here are going to say it's a health epidemic that guns are still legal. That's how they're going to circumvent the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. They're already working on these. I'm not making this up. They're actually doing this. So when I hear that, I go, okay, now expand upon that. And imagine the worst person in the world is in charge doing that. I remember when I heard, right, the cigarette companies said cigarettes were healthy. Are eggs good or bad for you this week? Yes, they change it all the time, depending on the lobby. If we're going to trust the government and trust the health and trust this, let's look at the food pyramid for 20 years ago. That was lobbied. Everything's lobbied. You're telling me that these drug decisions by our governments aren't people that worked for the drug companies getting jobs? What is, am I being gaslit here by my friends and everybody around me that doesn't see this as so crystal clear? I'm not talking conspiracy. I'm talking just look at history. Look at the history of the United States and the programs that we were involved in. It's a lot of dirty stuff. Now, I'm not saying that they should stop being dirty. They will always be dirty. They have to be dirty. If they aren't dirty, the enemies will use dirty tricks to get an advantage. Now, we could be well, we're not going to use dirty tricks, but we're all going to die. So, there goes that out the window. Being a martyr doesn't work all the time, okay? Hospitals have crosses on their front. Yeah, what does that mean? Isn't that false advertising? I think it's hilarious. Yeah, well, speaking of RJ Reynolds and smoking, it's 9 o'clock. I like this subject a lot. I work in free speech. I'm doing it now. I say this all the time. Think about how many private entities are involved for me to say hi and for it to go through my camera and get to you at your house. A lot of private companies. Look at dispensaries as opposed to a liquor store. You got to tell me what you mean, because every state here has different laws. Most people I know in New York don't go to a dispensary. Why would you? You're paying taxes. You either buy it from your neighbor or you grow it. It's free. You can grow it for free. I can't believe that people don't like to feel that their governments are doing all of these dirty things. Just like they don't like to think that their church is doing terrible things or that their entire religion is fake, right? So, when we ask people to listen to us and to change their opinion, you're asking them to deny their entire life, their entire well-being, everything. And they're not going to. It's not going to happen. If you want them to change their mind, well, first of all, I would like for people to realize that, yeah, there is no real truth or fact anymore. It is very subjective. And once they realized it, they would go, that means I got to get better at doing a little research and a little discourse, better at communicating. I did an interview yesterday for a podcast, and that was one of the final things I said was one of the problems is nobody knows how to communicate anymore. How would they? They don't need it. They don't need to communicate. And when I mean communicate, I mean take an idea from my mouth and get it to you so that you understand not just what I'm saying, but the details and the context and my emotional inside of what I'm asking, whatever it is, the detail. What actors do or are supposed to do. That's communicating. Speaking clearly and not mumbling, that's a part of it. Rhetoric. The book Gorgias by Plato is about a philosopher, Gorgias, arguing with Socrates about if rhetoric is the most powerful skill in the world. Because if you can convince anybody of anything, you win. It's a fun book. Made me think a lot about rhetoric as a science. Because it is a little bit of a science. It's easier for me to have Fox News tell me what to think. Yeah. And it's funny because Fox News isn't as bad as NBC right now, in my opinion, on spinning news. Fox was terrible for many years. And then I think they realized that if they go a little bit more libertarian, they're going to catch some extra people. Meanwhile, CNN, NBC, ABC, Stephen Colbert, all the main talk show hosts, it looks like, The View, all of the really mainstream shows, it really looks like the government went, can you please read this on your show today and make sure, can you do a song about COVID? Can you do a number where people, it looked that controlled. And my argument is a lot of people want to feel like they're being on the right team. So they go for it. They go, yep, we'll do it. I mean, it really looks like so much. I mean, we know for a fact now that all of the platforms were approached by government people to censor. Hey, you got to get rid of that. Hey, you got to get rid of that. Hey, you got to get rid of that. Just that alone to me is bugs me out. It really does. Just that alone. And so if they did that to all the big platforms, Twitter, we know this because he bought Twitter and he unreleased the emails. Go look at the emails between the FBI and the Twitter execs. It shows they paid them to do it. You're telling me they didn't do that to all those news channels too? All of them. CNN had a death tracker in the corner, counting. It wasn't accurate, but they had one. Was that fact? Is that true? That death tracker that they had? Those were all COVID deaths? No, it's not true. No way. I know that for a fact. I'm friends with medical workers here. Those numbers weren't exactly accurate. John Oliver. Wow. Interesting. You guys got to read the chat. Censorship, if any way, shape, or form, is the immediate proof something's being hidden. And I don't care if you think it's good censorship or not. I remember I was in a bar. It was right when Trump was first in, the first time around. And she was talking about banning hate speech. Now, mind you, my record collection, this is behind you, is filled with hate speech. It is. It's hateful lyrics. It's hateful to all sorts of things. It's not racist. It's not that kind of hate, but it is hateful. And there are people that if they heard some of the stuff in this, they would be like, oh. So I'm thinking, okay, hate speech. What can I do? So this is what I told her. I go, all right, so you want certain things like the N-word, certain things literally made illegal. Yes. And that will make it go away. And her answer was like, maybe it will, maybe. So I said, okay. So what if Trump is in charge of picking the words that are hateful? And her answer was, oh, no, I don't know about that. And I was like, but how dumb are you? This is where I'm like, you're dumb. This is like where someone's mind is not able to like take in more than one idea at one time. That's called low IQ. Okay? There's an example of, oh, I never thought. What do you mean you never thought of that? That's the whole point of our law system. We have one of the only legal systems based. It says USA ranks number 100 in free speech. But according to who? What does that mean? I disagree with that. Sweaty writer. Like, for instance, what do you mean by that? Because I can say some really terrible things right now about ethnic groups, religions, even the president. I can't threaten lives, but I can basically criticize all of the above. It's totally legal. I'm allowed to hate legally in this country. I'm allowed to wear a swastika shirt if I want. I can do any of those things. I will not get actually arrested. How does that rank 100 in free speech? I can't think of any other country in the world where all of that's applicable. I don't know what list is that. You got to send me that list. You got to send me this list where it ranks us 100 in free speech. I disagree with that. We are one of the only countries that has the law where we can actually kind of sue. It doesn't mean it's perfect, but we have one of the better free speech laws. Hence, why we have a lot of good art and music and pop culture. And yeah, we have the melting pot of art where different ethnic groups came together and created all sorts of fun and wacky art. Look at the metal music and punk rock and the blending of different genres and the hip hop coming in and then the rock blending with hip hop. I mean, it's just all over the place. What's an index for free speech? All of these indexes are made by global companies that don't, this is why I don't like this stuff's again, like I could say this is false news even though you're saying it's news. I want to hear the source. I mean, in the index for free speech, it looked up to the USA as an example of freedom. It's not an attack. I know, but I'm just curious of how who is considered to have the most freest speech on earth, country-wise? I'm curious. I cannot think, because in Europe, They do have hate speech law. They have them. That's right. The COS is very American. Just that alone, any satanic organization is immediately, I don't know if people realize this. Do you know what the most discriminated group is on earth? And when I mean that, I mean everybody hates them. It's atheists. Atheists. Right there's proof that we evolved to believe in God. So atheists are the most discriminated. Finland's considered the most free speech. I have to look into that. They also have good gun laws in Finland. North Korea. Yeah. Yeah, you can't talk about Nazis in Germany. You can't be a racist openly in other country. Here you can. And I'm glad you can here. I want them to be open. It's a little easier to find where they are, quite frankly. And if I need to have discourse, it's possible. If it's illegal, there's no discourse. It's gone. It's vanished. It's hidden. But there are 7 countries on earth where atheism's death penalty. If you poll most people, they don't like atheists. It hurts it's cognitively dissonant for them to exist. Ugh. I would say gay people are under one of these lists too. There's countries where it's illegal to be gay. Countries that have theocracy. But still, not all of them are theocracy, but some of them are. That's in there. But atheism, I mean, even the gay people that believe in God hate the atheists. I'm telling you, atheism is the one. You mention that you don't believe in God in people, and they get like, there's a weird thing that happens. It gets this like, ugh. They're distrustful. It's a moral judgment. It's like, you're immoral. Just like you ask questions. If you ask a dumb question about getting a medicine, or if you're questioning a motive for forcing people to do things, you're immoral. You get out of my face. If you think that's just asking the questions immoral, you gotta go. You can't be at my party. That's really like, whoa, you're just as dumb to me, and I use that word dumb as not in they're unintelligent, but cringy as the super religious guy. That's what that is. It's the same. This is why I say a lot of atheists believe in God. They believe in a good, a right, a correct. You're immoral. I'm moral. You're not. And I see it with atheists. I see it with Satanists. I see it with God people. I see it with people that sort of are spiritual. But most people believe in you're immoral and I'm good. Yes, Matthew the Metalhead. Bias, ignorance. Yeah, it's shocking. At any rate, it's time for me to go find some food. I'm going to leave my cave, Zarathustra style, and walk down the hall and get some food. Wow. I hope this made sense. I hope you guys had fun. Please, if you're in this, click the like. It's so funny. I have all these people watching my stuff and no one ever clicks the like button. Click the like button. It does help the algorithm. And if you're a donator, hey, I'm here. But listen, very important. I just want people to think about this stuff. At least you can be openly... Oh, it's getting blocked by the USA. I can openly be... Oh, yeah. I mean, you can be. You're at risk at getting messed with. But yes, you can be legally. It's not illegal. They tried to do that in the 80s at one point. They tried to ban occult stuff, Just like they have racist task forces looking for racism and spotting Nazis and racists. They had the same thing in the 80s looking for occult and Satanists. Hi, hire me and I'll come show you where the occult people are in your neighborhood. They were doing that too. Jason, party on. Thank you. I just want people to think and go ask their friends questions. That's all. I have no answers here. Notice I gave no answers other than you can combat info with rhetoric and more info. That's it. So our job is to be better at rhetoric. All of us, I guess. Bill, party on. I'm so happy you come in here. I love that you're in here. I think that's it. Like, talk to your friends. Ask questions. Don't state opinions. Ask questions. Get them to think about it. Thank you, sis. Yeah, I think that's it. When I ask people this, are you okay with the government lying to you for your own safety? When I say it like that, they'll go, no. But I can tell by how they talk that they mean yes. Like, well, if I don't know, it's better. That's a lot of people. I don't know. Values. Sweaty writer. Sweaty writer. Well, here's the thing. There is, when you're an isolated weirdo, and I'm not saying weirdo in a bad way. I'm saying a different person. People always think when I use weirdo, they interpret it as wrong. For me, weirdos are a good. But when you're a weirdo in an area where there's not many weirdos and you're isolated, my advice is always the anonymity, let that give you power. If you're a type of a value system that does not groove with the world that you're surrounded by, you almost have to let the anonymity of your internal clock being a little bit more aware than most people, have a little internal giggle and realize that you don't need anybody else to know that you're in a different path and that it's okay. That's all. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Party on. Thank you for watching, Sweaty Writer, and come in anytime to these shows. I try to do them every week. Sometimes I get busy and I can't, but it's winter and I go into an internal hole in the winter. I try to learn some new skills, catch up on my writing. Like now I'm trying to edit my book. It's finished, but I gotta now edit it. So I'm in that mode. But yeah, really, that video I showed earlier, I mean, my God, what the heck? Wow. That music that they play in those videos is designed to get you to go into like a calm alpha state. There's no accident. All right, folks, I'm going to take us out with the end credits. And, yeah, let's go wine and dine ourselves and treat ourselves right and take this very short life seriously and have a lot of serious fun. And on that note, party on, Wayne. Thank you very much. Hit the like and subscribe. Donate if you can. And I'm very, very happy that we have an audience. I really do like it. Party.